Hi guys. So this is like the third time I've tried to do this, so hopefully the third time's a charm. Um, it's basically like 10:30 at night, but I was getting so annoyed that I just wanted to make this and finally have it work. Um, and I'm home alone and I don't really feel like going to sleep yet. So I got some questions from you guys and I will get started. Some are recovery based, and there's a few that are just like school things. Okay. And I'm on my iPhone because my webcam was like acting weird. So I'm sorry if this comes out a little weird. And my hand is shaking, so the camera might be shaking a little bit. But, okay, I'll get started. Okay. Things that I've learned in recovery. Um, I would say the biggest thing is I am always afraid of the unknown, and I think most of us are. And so obviously I have a lot of fears and anxiety about doing things, but I found that 99% of the time it's really not as bad as I think it's going to be. So my mind plays up like, oh my God, it's going to be terrible. You don't want to do that. Um, but I kind of learned that just by pushing through and facing your fears, you realize it's not really as bad as you thought. And that'll just give you more confidence to do it again and do it again and do it again. And so that was a big thing for me. And also, this is just kind of common sense, but food really is medicine. It's amazing how, like, I don't know, how it just makes you a human. Like, seriously. You really don't know how messed up you are until you actually start getting better and start getting nourishment. Because I can notice so many differences, like concentration and just, I don't know, just living. It's really crazy. And I'm really thankful that I have nourished myself. And even though like gaining the weight sucks, it's just like how it is. And I don't know, I've learned that food is not something that's going to hurt me. It will only help me. And I mean, I'm still trying to trust my body, but it's stuck with me this far, so I'm pretty sure that hopefully it will stick with me for a while. And what else have I learned? One thing is that I've learned that sometimes you need to just let go and let other people in, as hard as that is. So, whether it be asking for help or telling someone you're struggling or going to treatment or whatever it may be. But sometimes you're just not strong enough to do it yourself, and that is perfectly okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You're not weak. You're actually a lot stronger for kind of going against what your eating disorder wants. So, and that's what I had to do, was kind of just let go and let other people help me and realize that, okay, I can't do this myself. And if I want to live, then I have to get help. And I mean, that's why I did that. That's why I went to Montanito, because I knew that I just couldn't do it. And then that plays into acceptance, which I think is the biggest theme of my recovery this time. The word just sticks out to me for some reason, because recovery really is about acceptance. And as hard as it is, I feel like it's crucial. Like, I've accepted that I don't know, I accepted that I need to go to treatment and that it was going to be uncomfortable and I was going to cry and then I was going to feel fat and I was going to eat fear foods, and I kind of just accepted all that and accepted that I was going to have to get through it to get to the other side, or to get to the brighter spots, I guess you could say, on the other side. And I don't know, just accepting that sometimes things are going to suck, but they won't stay that way forever. And so those are some of the things, some of the main things that I've learned. There's probably more, but I can't think of any right now. Let's see what else. Okay, ways to turn bad days around. This can be really difficult just because there's no way of just really snapping out of a bad mood or a bad moment or whatever it may be. But one thing I want to mention is that usually you don't have a bad day, it's more of a bad moment or a bad meal or a bad interaction or something like that. And I used to do that, kind of label the whole day as bad, when really it was just a piece of it. And ever since my dad kind of said that to me, I started to think about it more, and it's really true. Like, don't let one little moment ruin your entire day. If someone says something triggering, accept it and just move on. If you fuck up your meal plan, you have the next time to make up for it. And I guess it's kind of looking at the positives, not being so all or nothing. And I think that can really help too. But also, really using self-care to turn days around, like taking a bubble bath or going for a nice walk or listening to music, painting your nails, whatever you enjoy, because you deserve enjoyment. And I mean, and kind of acting opposite to how you're feeling. So if you're feeling like sad, don't watch a sad movie, don't listen to sad music. Do the opposite. So watch something funny or talk to a friend who makes you laugh. Like things like that, so you don't get yourself to sink even deeper into your bad feelings and bad thoughts. And distraction is a really big thing as far as turning days around. And I mean, just kind of look for the beauty in the day. And that's why I kind of write out bullet points, or that's why I kind of started doing that, is it kind of makes you realize that, oh, I did have some good things during the day. And I feel like that's really important, to look for the positives. And as much as I hated hearing it for the longest time from my dad, that it's really helped a lot. And I'm a lot more optimistic about things, and that can really help. So that's my advice on that one. Okay, dealing with body image. And I've gotten a lot of questions recently about this and how to deal with weight restoration and just bad body image in general. And unfortunately, it's the last thing to go, which really sucks a lot, but it's just how it is. I don't know why it's like that. I would love to know, because it's torture, but there's nothing we can do about it. It's just how it happens. Well, I would definitely wear things that make you feel comfortable, that you're comfortable in. But at the same time, I don't mean like frumpy sweatshirts and like hiding yourself. Like, I mean, I don't know. What I mean is kind of wearing things that you're comfortable in, but kind of challenging yourself as well. So, I don't know. I would always be afraid to wear like pants, because oh my god, I'll feel so terrible. But I found that if I like dressed up in an outfit that I liked, it actually boosted my confidence, and I looked at like my body as a whole versus just like the parts that I don't like, if that makes sense. So I don't know if you're feeling a little self-conscious about your stomach or something like that, wear a cute big sweater. Just wear something, I don't know, that you like, that you feel good in, but not something that you feel triggered in. I don't know if that makes any sense. Um, but I know that helped me a lot too. I was surprised that I was confident wearing like clothes like that, but it helped me. It might be different for you guys, but basically just wear something you're comfortable in, but don't totally give into the eating disorder. Not the eating disorder, but you know what I mean. Um, I'm surprised I didn't say this first, but number one is do not weigh yourself. You shouldn't even have a scale in your house. I mean, there's no reason to weigh yourself at all. It won't do anything for you. What's the benefit? There is no benefit. Your eating disorder will never be satisfied. There's no reason to know what the number is because that's just one other thing you're going to obsess over. And it's just there's just no reason to weigh yourself, especially when you're having bad body image. That is just the stupidest thing ever. But I know that when your eating disorder kind of gets in your mind, you aren't yourself and you kind of do impulsive things like that. So basically, don't have a scale in your house so that doesn't happen. Let your doctor worry about it. Let whoever else worry about it, but you don't need to know. Like, I know exactly where the scale is in my house, and I could easily go weigh myself any time I wanted, but I just, I know that that would not be good for me. And I honestly don't have an interest in knowing just because I felt so free not knowing and not worrying about it and not letting it control me like it did before. And it's amazing. So I highly suggest it because it's great. And yeah, you'll be anxious at first, like, oh my God, like, I need to know what the number is. I need to make sure I didn't gain from that tablespoon of peanut butter or like whatever it may be. But the longer you wait, the more the anxiety goes down. Same thing with measuring for me. You kind of learn to trust, like, okay, like, whatever, it's nice to not worry about this. Um, so definitely do not weigh yourself and even smash your scale if you want, just to make it a little more fun. So that is really, really number one for me. Also, try to stay away from mirrors. I know that when I'm having shitty body image and just like feel bad like in my body, I really stay away from mirrors because I know that like just like the scale thing, it's not gonna help me at all. Like I doubt that if I looked in the mirror when I had bad body image, I would be like, "Oh wait, hold on, I don't have bad body image anymore." Like that just wouldn't happen. So try to stay away from mirrors and even put affirmations on your mirrors if you want to do that to kind of instead of focusing in on your body when you look in the mirror, seeing like an affirmation, like you're worth it or whatever it may be. I did that a while ago and it helped a lot. So, but everyone's different. That may not work for you, which that's fine. Um, what else? I think those are the main things as far as that. Distraction is good to so your mind isn't racing if you're just like not doing anything and getting out and doing things. I find that when I'm home, my mind kind of like spins, and then versus like when I'm at work or out grocery shopping, whatever, my mind isn't focused on if my thighs are touching or whatever it may be. So distraction is big, and also try not to compare yourself to people. Like comparison will kill you. There's no point in comparing yourself because once again, the eating disorder will always have something to say. And I mean, honestly, don't worry about anyone else looking at you because I'm not like trying to sound mean, but people just don't care. Like, they're not looking to see if you have a thigh gap. I mean, the only people who are doing that are people with eating disorders, probably. And obviously, we know that's no way to live and that I don't know. So try not to compare yourself to people. Your body is the way it is for a reason. And you need to trust that everything is going to work out, and you need to trust your body and where it needs to be, and just all goes back to acceptance. Just accept that it's hard to deal with, but it will pass. And people without eating disorders even have bad body image. I don't think there's anyone in this world who has good body image all the time, like 24/7. I just don't think that's possible. I mean, if you do, I want to know your tricks, but I really don't think anyone is like that. So don't beat yourself up over it. Don't focus on it. It will pass. And don't use behaviors because of it, because that won't get you anywhere at all. And we all know that. But so those are my tips for body image, that kind of stuff. Okay, how to help friends understand how to support you. This can be really difficult because eating disorders tend to cause us to isolate. So I know for me, I pushed everyone away. Like all my close friends, people who wanted to help me, like I just didn't want to let them in. And I feel like we all do that. I mean, it's not us, it's the eating disorder. Like I treated people like shit. And looking back on it, I feel like a really bad person. But it wasn't me. It wasn't Trine. It was the eating disorder kind of taking over. But I would definitely, I know that I like printed stuff out for people, and like Denise and my dad read books and to try to learn about it a little more. And I even brought people to Hope and Inspiration with me to kind of hear a speaker. And if they care, they will definitely read what you give them because they want to help you in any way that they can. And I mean, even just talking to them yourself and just saying, okay, I want to tell you how I'm feeling. I don't want you to give me advice. I don't want you to tell me what you think. I just want you to listen. And I know that can be helpful sometimes, just so they can kind of see how you're thinking. And honestly, people without eating disorders will never understand fully. It's just how it is. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, and you kind of have to not take it personally that they don't understand, if that makes sense. I mean, if they say something triggering, you can say that it was triggering, that it didn't help, but you kind of have to remember that I highly doubt that they did it to make you feel bad. Like, they don't want to make you feel bad at all, so that's not their intention. I mean, when people say, oh, you look so healthy, obviously, like, if you don't have an eating disorder, looking healthy is, like, really great. But to us, it's like, oh, you look so fat, you gained weight. They don't know that we think that. So they don't know that that's triggering to us. And you can tell them that, I don't know, that's how you're feeling. But I feel like being open with your friends is really important. I know some people kind of keep it from their friends, or they don't know if they should tell their boyfriend or stuff like that. But, and I mean, you can choose who you want to tell. You don't have to tell the whole world. But I know for me, basically everyone knows, and I'm fine with it now, like whatever. But I think support is really crucial in recovery, like extremely important. So I don't know. Definitely you can even write out a list, like telling them what to say, what not to say. Don't comment on my food. Don't comment on my body, like stuff like that. And I know I've said that before to people, like if I'm going, like even when I went to the Cape, I sent an email saying, please don't comment on my food, please don't comment on my body, and none of that even happened. And honestly, like they don't really care. Like I said before, like people are worried about themselves, and I mean, even, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like support is really important. And I know I said that before, but I can't stress it enough because if I didn't have the support that I do, I definitely would not be where I am today at all. So definitely stick to people you feel comfortable with. And like I said, if they really care, then they'll do whatever they can to support you in any way. So that is my tip for that. Tips, I guess you could say. Okay. What's going on in my life recovery-wise now? I mean, nothing extraordinary. I mean, I'm still continuing to take steps forward, take steps back sometimes. I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm not recovered. I really feel like, in my opinion, everyone's different, but recovery for me is a lifelong journey. So I feel like those thoughts will kind of always be there, but they'll kind of get quieter the further away I get from my eating disorder. But I'm a work in progress. Like, I'm not perfect. I still count calories. I still have some trouble with exercise and still have like irrational stupid rules that are in my head, and so I'm definitely not cured or perfect. But I'm in such a better mindset to be able to fight all those thoughts, and I'm so much more rational. Like, it's really crazy. Like, going back to what food can do for your brain, it's really amazing. And I mean, I'm doing things that I never thought I would be doing. Like rock climbing, if I did that at Montanito, like before I went to Montanito, I would have made it like up one rock. Like, it would have been really embarrassing because I was that weak. And I mean, I forgot to say this as far as the body image, dealing with body image piece of advice, but you really kind of need to focus on what your body can do for you and the positives of it versus beating it down. So the rock climbing thing just reminded me of it. So that's why I'm saying it now. But I would not have been able to do that months ago. But with gaining weight as hard as it was and nourishing myself, I'm able to do so many more things. So kind of appreciating your body for what it does now that it could not do before. So I don't know, dancing or running or walking or I don't know, just everyday things that you would not be able to do or you could minimally do before you went into recovery. So even keeping a list of like the things that your body allows you to do as far as the body image piece can kind of help, and looking at the positives and focusing on your body as a whole, which I'm a lot better at doing now than like the parts that you don't like. So I mean, I'm still working on like body acceptance in my recovery now. I mean, my body's at a healthy weight where it's been stable, literally the exact same place since Montanito, which was like 6 months ago, which is honestly really crazy. That's like half a year, and I can't believe that. But I mean, I still have bad body image and I still have urges and I slip up sometimes, but the thing is, I always pick myself back up. Like, it never becomes a spiral because I'm able to notice when I slip and be like, okay, I don't want to get into that spiral, so I'm going to pick myself back up, even though it's hard. But it's something you need to do. And I don't know, I've been really challenging myself a lot, like socially, which is really good for me. A really big step. Really big step. And still challenging myself with like fear foods and stuff. And not using so many rules, and kind of reaching out more to people if I'm having a hard time, and being honest with my therapist. And it feels really good to be honest and not be so sneaky, and it's really cool. And like right now in my recovery, I don't really like in therapy, I don't really talk about my weight or like anything like that. It's more like real life things, like stress at work or friends or relationships or school or stuff like that, which is really cool. So, I mean, the eating disorder is still a focus, but I don't feel like it's the main focus. Like it's kind of underlying still, if that makes sense. Um, and I don't know. I'm a work in progress, and I'm still dealing with stuff, like I said. And I mean, but I'm not giving up anytime soon. I mean, I've come this far. Why would I ever give up? I would not go back to how it was before. And this boost was what I needed. Going voluntarily to Montanito was what I needed to do, and I'm so glad that I did. So, so glad. I knew I had it in me, but I needed that push, I guess you could say, and I was ready to kind of let people in to help me do that. Okay. Do I think that Tumblr has helped my recovery at all? I definitely think it has. I never used Tumblr as a negative thing. I was never pro Anna. I didn't do any of that. I find it such a good place for support. I've met so many wonderful people on Tumblr, and I'm so grateful. But I wish you all lived like down the street from me so I could just come and make tea and make pancakes and have picnics and take selfies and all that fun stuff. But unfortunately, that's just not how it is. But you can always move close to me if you want. But anyway, overall, the community is amazing. But you need to use it in the right way. You can easily come across pro-Anna crap. And I mean, if someone follows me and I go to their page and I see stats on the side or a breakfast with like 2 cornflakes as a meal or like half an apple as breakfast, yeah, I immediately leave that page. And like, why would I follow someone like that? Like, that won't benefit me at all. And that's not something I look up to. So it's being smart and putting your recovery first, because that's what's most important. And it's just nice having people who really understand. And so it's been supportive for me. But like I said, you need to use it in the right way. Okay, so excuse me, it's like way past my bedtime, so there's just a few more. How do I imagine my future? Well, definitely continuing recovery. As you all know, I'm going to school, back to school in the fall, full time for the first time. And I wanted to be an elementary ed teacher at first, but now I'm changing my major to psych because I want to be a therapist for those with eating disorders and possibly kids who have lost parents at a young age, since I've gone through that. So I think that could be really cool, and it's just like so rewarding to be able to help people. And even like on Tumblr, when people message me saying how I inspired them or they love coming to my page or whatever it may be, it's just like awesome. Like, I can't even explain the feeling it gives me. It just keeps me going. It's just so amazing, giving people hope and inspiration. And I also hope that I can speak at Hope and Inspiration one day. It's one of my goals. And I started writing my story a little bit, but I need to get back into that. I haven't done it in a while. So definitely continuing recovery and going to school and becoming a therapist. And I definitely want a relationship. Holla at me. Okay, that was really awkward. But I definitely want a relationship, like a soulmate. I would love to get married. I'd love to have kids. No more than 2, but you never know what could happen. Um, and just travel and eat delicious food and just be happy and live and not just survive like I was for so long. Um, I don't know. I'm looking forward to the future, but at the same time, it's actually really scary. Um, but it's exciting at the same time. So hopefully good things will happen. Okay, now those are the eating disorder related ones. And just the last two that are non-eating disorder related, which are kind of random, but whatever. Someone wanted me to answer them. What do you like most about school? Um, well, it's kind of hard to say because I don't really feel like I've been in school, like in the right mindset for at all since like high school, I guess you could say. Um, I don't know. I just really love learning new things and being around people like me, I guess, kind of, or my age, I don't know. Um, and it's just exciting kind of getting closer and closer to getting a job that you want. And it's just so fascinating knowing all the things, like learning all the things that you like didn't know about. And I'm excited because in the fall I'll be in a better place, like as far as like nourishing myself, that I'll hopefully be able to remember like a word that the professor says like in a lecture. So I'm really excited kind of about learning a lot of stuff and just being in a better place. And I don't know. I love school supplies too. I know that's really random, but I like being organized and planners and all that stuff. Um, okay, and study tips and organization. I definitely always buy a planner and write my assignments in there, stuff like that. I always have notebooks with like different colors for each class, and then I write on the top like what the class is or the subject. And like study tips, flashcards are like my savior. Like I really like flashcards. I know they don't work for everyone, but they really help me a lot. Um, like I get really frazzled when everything is just like written on one page. Um, and definitely have a highlighter if when you take notes. And highlight like the main things. That's really important. Some people even type up their notes because that's a little more organized too. Um, Another thing is if you're having trouble, definitely reach out to your professors or teachers because they only want to help you. Um, and I was really good at that this past semester, and hopefully I will be this time around too. Um, and I mean, try not to take try not to be so hard on yourself as far as grades. I mean, that's something I really need to work on coming up this fall because that is what killed me in school last time, being like such a perfectionist, saying, should have done better, should have done this, and I stressed so much over it. So just kind of, I don't know, take it seriously, but not so seriously that you hate it all the time. Because that's not fun. I mean, it's an exciting time. It's a big time, but whatever grade you're in, um, it means something. So, I mean, take advantage of it and kind of soak in all that knowledge that you're learning. And oh, definitely make sure you manage your time well. Like kind of plan out like okay, I'm going to do this for this amount of time because I know that sometimes I can get carried away and get really obsessive and then I get stressed out and it's not good. So make sure you kind of limit yourself too. Like don't over exceed your limits and obsess about assignments and all that stuff. Like I really need to work on a balance this semester between like social, school, work, relaxation, like stuff like that. So I feel like that's really, really important. Um, and obviously, nourish yourself so you can remember things and study and all that fun stuff. Um, so, that is the last question that I have on my sheet. Um, it is 11 p.m. and I have to work tomorrow morning. And I'm super tired, but this might take a little bit to load. So, yeah, that is it for me. I hope this video helped a little bit, and hopefully I wasn't too awkward. But okay, that's all from me. If you have any more questions, feel free to send them to me. I love you all, and I hope you're having a great weekend, and keep kicking ass. Mwah. Love you.